Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have with us Mir Basit Hussain, who is a senior journalist and publications editor at Free Press Kashmir. Free Press Kashmir, which was an independent news portal and weekly published out of Srinagar. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you please tell us when did you come out of Kashmir?
I came out from Kashmir in October. I think it was mid-October, and from the day of abrogation of Article 370, that's August 5th, till now, we have not been able to do journalism as we used to do. We have not been able to publish anything in paper and online.
Okay. So when you were in Kashmir, what was your daily routine like? What did you do every day?
Till 4th, it was absolutely chaotic. It was absolute chaos. We didn't know what is going to happen. And as everybody came to know then what happened, but till then we had no idea that what was going to happen. And after August 5th, we just stayed put. We were home as the basic requirement for us was internet. We were totally dependent on internet, and which is still under shutdown. And as journalists, we were not able to move properly. We were not able to move at all, basically, for the first 2-3 weeks. It was only after 16th or 17th of August, one of my colleagues came home and we started to move out. We met each other after 2-3 weeks. We came to know that everybody's okay. That was the routine for the first few weeks. We were at home.
So you were just inside home doing nothing?
Yeah, doing nothing, just keeping track of things with whatever means we had. We only had our DTH that was working.
So only DTH was working, and I understand that cable television was cut, and only those.
Yes, cable television was cut, internet was cut, landlines were off. Yeah.
So those homes privileged with a satellite connection were the only ones who could watch anything on television.
Yes, that's how we can put it, and that also went out for a couple of days, because people were not able to recharge it. So some people who had somebody outside the valley, they were able to contact them somehow, from police stations or from the DC's office where phones were, kept for public.
Okay.
So they were able to call them to get it recharged.
Okay. You said that before August 5th there was a lot of chaos. Can you please elaborate on that chaos?
I mean, there was this feeling that something is going to happen, but nobody had gauged that a thing like this would happen. I mean, it was absolutely unprecedented and unexpected, totally unexpected.
How did that feeling come into being?
Because of the government orders which were coming in, that they were asking us to stock up ration, they were asking us to stock up medicines and daily use items, and then the advisory in which the tourists and the yatris were asked to leave the valley as soon as possible. I have never seen such an order, because government orders have a certain language. It has a pacifying language, but that order had this crude. It was a crude order that just leave the valley as soon as possible. Those were the words. So which threw everything into a spiral, and we were not able to understand what was going to happen. So those things which the government, it created a lot of chaos, and nobody was confirming it. I mean, the way we were talking to our sources or senior government officials, that why are these orders coming out? What is going to happen? They were blank. I mean, they had no answer. They said, we don't know what is going to happen.
So you finally understood on the 5th of August. What was that all about?
Yes. When you came to know, we came to know.
Okay. So what has happened to your company right now, and what about your employees?
As of now, it is not working, because we are totally dependent on internet. We were majorly an online portal. We still are. We hope we are. We're hopeful that we might be able to revive it. But as of now, chances are very thin. But we had to kind of temporarily shut it down, because there is no internet. So how can we work without internet? And then, due to the shutdown, which has prolonged to the 4th month now, many of our investors who were helping us have backed out because they are not able to do business. So, I mean, how can we ask money from them when they don't have money for themselves to sustain? So as of now, it is shut down, and our employees, which are more of our colleagues, more of our friends, it's like a family we had built. We conveyed it to them. we won't be able to pay and we won't be able to sustain like this. So we will have to, down our shutters for some time.
Okay. So now that Jammu and Kashmir has been officially made a union territory by the current government, what does that mean for the press?
Not just for the press, for people as a whole also. We don't know. I don't know. Everything is being done or implemented under lockdown. I mean, we really don't know. How is it going to affect business? How is it going to affect daily life? And I really don't know. Because nobody has briefed us that what differences will we have to cope up to after being a union territory, from a state to union territory. We really don't know, because everything is still under shutdown. So I really don't know.
I understand it has been 96 days since the shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been no briefing yet by the government side about how they will recuperate everything that was lost in those past months. Has there been no briefing by the government?
As far as I know, there hasn't been any briefing yet.
What do you think about the projections that are being made? They have told that because of the abrogation, this is it's going to help in eradicating militancy and in promoting development. So do you really think that it's going to help?
I mean, if you can see for yourselves, has militancy or whatever you call it, terrorism, has it stopped after the abrogation? I mean, no. I mean, encounters are taking place. Blasts are happening. Recently, there were attacks on non-local laborers, which has never happened in Kashmir, not even during the dreaded 90s. I mean, no outsider or even a non-Muslim was attacked just because he was working there or a tourist. Now these attacks have started happening after the abrogation. If the abrogation was for development and for the good, I don't think these things should have happened, but they are happening now. And see, this abrogation is political. So is the nature of Kashmir. That is political in nature. So you have to take political steps to restore faith. I mean, development will happen after that. Development will not happen till you linger it on, till you linger the issue on, which is political in nature, and you have kept everyone, including the unionists and separatists, whomsoever right now speaks against the present dispensation is under arrest or house arrest or preventive detention, as they call it. So I don't think if it was so good, you would have forcefully, you would have to lock down people to prove that it is good. So it will happen after you resolve the political dispute.
Maybe the current government believes that the abrogation was a part of resolving the political dispute. So if that is what they project it to be, why are they changing the names of places in Kashmir?
First of all, if they thought that it was a part of the political process, then all the political players should have been involved. They should have been taken into confidence. People of the Kashmir should have been taken into confidence that this is for your good. But instead, all of them, including the people who support, people who support India, who have been with India for as times immemorial, they were all put under house arrest. I mean, this is not development at all. I mean, if you are changing names which has Sher-e-Kashmir in it, Sher-e-Kashmir is referred for Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah. You might have differences with the person as a Kashmiri also, but this is a part of our collective conscience. This is a part of our history. This is a part of our memory. I mean, you are changing those names, and this is a direct attack on our memories then. For example, Sher-e-Kashmir Cricket Stadium, that is embedded in our memory that this is the Sher-e-Kashmir Cricket Stadium. Now you're going to change the names. This is going to directly impact, first of all, people who are his supporters. This is going to directly impact people who have collective memories to it. This is an attack on that, and I don't know. I don't see how it is going to develop. Did Allahabad develop after it was changed to Prayagraj? It is still one of the dirtiest places in India.
There's speculation about changing the official language of the state from Urdu to Hindi. What is your take on that?
That is again, an attack on your identity, like the name changing. I mean, most of the people in the valley speak Urdu. They read in Urdu, they write Urdu. Most of them don't speak Hindi. So again, then there is going to be this void between the government and its people. I mean, they won't be able to understand what kind of an order they are reading, what kind of an order they are signing, or what kind of an order they are adhering to, because the language it is in is not what they speak or write.
So, amidst all of this, what are the people doing right now? Fact finders or reporters are saying that there's some sort of widespread civil disobedience which is being observed by the commoners of the valley. So,
Yeah.
could you please shed some light on what that civil disobedience is exactly, being a Kashmiri?
I mean, the best the civilians can do right now is show their resentment and anger by shutting down their businesses, by not sending their children to schools. And repeated attempts from the government to open schools has failed. Schools are open, but people are not able to send their children to school because they're worried that something might happen anytime, and who's going to take responsibility? Also, the communication has only been partly restored. Everybody doesn't have a postpaid number. Most of the people have prepaid numbers. So we can say that communication is still off the charts. So in such circumstances, when there is no political space available, when there is no space for resentment available to show in a peaceful manner, the only thing people can do is that they can shut their businesses and stay home. That's what these reports have suggested also, that this is what people are doing right now. And there is no one to lead them. Everybody is under lockdown. So as a leaderless society, what else can you do?
By shutting their businesses, aren't they incurring losses?
They are, but they are, as of now, what the feelers you get from those reports is that they are ready to bear those losses. But then there is a question that for how long will people sustain, and for how long the government is intending to keep this lockdown.
Okay.
This is absolutely uncertain. I mean, this is not peace. This is again what Aga Shahidali used to say, that they make a desolation and call it peace. It's a desolation. It's uncertainty. And anything can happen anytime again. Till this dispute lingers on. This is not the solution. If it would have been a solution, there wouldn't have been a lockdown, and such a severe lockdown which nobody has ever seen.
This has been the most severe?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have lived through the 90s, and I have seen lockdowns, I have seen shutdowns, I have seen, violence from both sides. I have seen it. But this, still in those times, in the 90s, we were at least able to communicate with each other. We knew what is going on. The press freedom was still there. Communications lines were up. They were not mobile phones, but they were landlines. And such severe restrictions were never in place. But this is for the first time I'm seeing such a severe restriction that we didn't even know what is happening in the next neighborhood. We were so afraid to go out. Everybody was indoors, and all means of communication shut at the same time. So I haven't seen it.
And what do you think this means for press freedom or for journalism in Jammu and Kashmir?
It's not good at all. People are afraid. Let me be very honest with you. To write about what is happening as it is happening, I haven't seen any report like that. And if you do dare to write such a report, and you should be ready to face the consequences. We can take the example of Mr. Basit. You can see what happened to him. His overseas Indian citizenship has been revoked. And he is, kind of a known man. People know him. He has sources to protect himself. Still, such an action was taken against him. He cannot come to India now. So imagine if, a person on my level tries to do something which I ought to do, basically. I don't know what is going to happen. So, yeah.
So how long do you think it will be till Kashmir returns to the normalcy that it has known?
Let's not call it normalcy. It's uncertainty. That is the word which should be used, uncertainty. Because normalcy, we don't know what normal means now.
Okay.
For me, as a child growing up in the 90s, I don't know what normal was. For us, normal was going out and coming back alive. That was normal. Then again, if you see how the valley has erupted from, let's say, from 2007, 2008, and again in 2010, then in 2016. So after every agitation, it was said that Kashmir is limping back to normalcy, but it wasn't limping back to normalcy. it was limping back to uncertainty. Till the government doesn't address the basic problem that is political in nature, normalcy will not return. It will again go back to uncertainty. Again, the valley will erupt in protests. As I said earlier, when you asked that how this name changing is going to affect, if it would have been for good, then it should have happened in 1953 when Sheikh Abdullah was arrested. Then it should have happened in 1975 when he signed the accord with Indira Gandhi. These name changes, abrogation of articles has been happening since a long time. Has the valley returned to normalcy? No, it hasn't, because the basic question has not been addressed. The basic problem has not been addressed. If it would have been addressed then, it would have maybe returned to normal as we know what normal is.
Okay.
So to use this word normalcy is not the right thing to do.
Okay.
I think it's uncertain.
So it snowed in Kashmir, I think 2 days ago.
Yeah,
And yes, yeah, heavily. And amidst all of this, where people are facing problems to move around, now it has snowed heavily. I heard that there was almost 1 feet of snow that was collected overnight. Now, how has snow affected the life that was already marred by all these restrictions?
Yeah, physically it has. There has been a lot of power outage. Whatever transport was plying on the roads, private transport, that is off the roads also. Till the snow is accumulated, it will melt away, I guess. Yeah, there are problems. Highway will be shut down as usual, and there might be shortages in food and all. But Kashmiris have always related to snow, and they have always felt that snow is a blessing for us. They love snow. We love snow. Snow is related to good news. So I hope that too. But as of now, I don't see any good news coming up from the valley. But still, snow is always welcome, and it will always be welcome.
Thank you so much for speaking to the Logical Indian. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.